What up, beautiful people? It is your homegirl Shameless, all up in Photoshop. We are in Photoshop. This tutorial is highly requested. It's basically how to learn about editing photos. I've been doing this for over 15 years, so I know a thing or two, and I've been working with photo studios and photographers, and now I'm editing myself. The reason why I'm doing this is because I did a 7-day photo challenge with Cousin Jay on Instagram. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram at Maya's World, and this among others. These ones we took in the desert. We took these ones here in my loft, and it was just a lot of fun. So Photoshop helps. I'm going to show you guys how to perfect that. Now, I'm not going to use this image because this is more for the advanced, because there's a lot of layers. We got this like ray of kind of sunlight. We have water on my hair and on my skin. So yeah, that's something else. It's too much, and that's what the original looked like. And we're going to be working with this image. So this is the original, that's just cropped, and I'm going to show you the layers, how to go from this to this to this. Now, if you look closely, things like snatching of the waist has been done. I like to lower shoulders just a tad bit. Fixing of the hair, the color, and the skin. So yeah, I'm going to open the original, and the first thing you're gonna do, I like to work on the skin first. So I create a new layer by clicking this button over here, and then I double click that, rename it skin. You don't ever want to work on the main layer, because if you make a mistake, you want to be able to make those corrections. Now we're gonna use the spot healing brush, and you want to make sure you can like play around with sizes here. It's kind of big, but you can adjust there. Hardness, also it's at 100, which means it's super hard. I'll show you exactly what this does, okay? This over here. So let me use the clone stamp, because that's better. I'm gonna put the hardness all the way up. And basically, I'm going to hit Command and click. Then I'm gonna click here. And it's essentially copying the information here and putting it there. We just want to do the skin. So I'm going to hit the spot tool again. Here, shortcut is J. Click here, change the size. You can also use the bracket. By hitting the brackets on your computer, you can go big or small. So I want to go small. And I want the hardness down. 14% is good. Okay, so you can just start clicking away. So what the computer is basically doing is just averaging. It's like, oh, okay, well, this spot over here is not the same as the rest of everything else around. So it's doing an educated guess. But sometimes educated guessing is not enough, especially when it comes to areas that are contrasting colors. Oh. My bad. Eating my words. The other tool would be this J, the healing brush, as opposed to the spot. So I just want to click here, Command click, copy, Command click, and then it's copying. Now, the tighter you zoom in, the more detailed you can get. The further out, the more broad strokes, the more kind of like rush job. They don't pay me enough money to sit here and waste too much time, or they do, and let me zoom in really hard to all damn pixels. I'm going to hit the clone tool because I really want it to look not an average, but a direct copy. So we're just going to get to work on this skin. Now this comes in helpful for zits. If you want to like touch up your armpits, bikini zone, anything. You can use it for anything. fur, if you're doing animals. Don't think they don't go easy on animals and food. Everything has been photoshopped. Imperfections are cool. But I think it depends on the medium, because our eyes have been trained so much. But yeah. So I'm command clicking, and then command click the area you want, and then click on the area you want to cover. Command click here, and then click over here. So I'm just gonna get all of that situated. And they have those apps on Instagram. Facetune your face, that everyone is using. Don't get it twisted. They be blurring their skin out and snatching those wastes in. So that's pretty good for the face. There was kind of some stubble over here. So this is all about perfection. This is not real. Real deal is like you might get a bush. You are perfect the way you are. Not. Because if I was, why would I be photoshopping myself? I'm not perfect. Okay, so as you can see, just pay attention to this to see what I'm alternating. Oy, you see that's the clone, because it copies exactly. It doesn't average anything out. It copies exactly. So I like to do that for areas that are tight, like here. And when I say tight, between the contrasts. So there's black, pink, and thing. Oh my goodness, you guys, I am speaking on a panel, Tech Talk. We're having a Tech Talk with General Assembly. If you live in the Los Angeles area or surrounding areas, come join me. Look, I got mosquito bites. And then if you make a mistake, you can hit the E and get this eraser, and you can just erase. Now I'm going to click back to the main image, and the next thing I like to do is Liquify. Facetune has this, and girls be snatching waist, faces, butts. So I have here a protruding gut. So basically what I'm hitting is this guy over here, which is W, and I just push it in like such. I make this smaller by hitting the brackets and push it in like such. Now I'll show you how this works, exaggerated. Oh, torpedo boobs! That is perfect. But I can drag it and give myself a boob if I so chose. And I think I'll do it just for the purposes of this video. I would not, well, it doesn't even matter what I would or wouldn't do. Do you, boo, right? And I like to bring shoulders down a wee bit. Oy. Because it just, it's more lean. You could, if you had a double chin, just push it all the way up so you have a pointy chin. No. It's just all about subtlety. Here, the hair is kind of like jacked up. Flyaways. This is actually really perfect if you have like an afro and you wanted it to be round, and it's totally not. I did that for Prince's album cover. Nobody has a perfect fro like that. Nobody. But for the aesthetic of the album, because we're mirroring the album rounds, that made sense. Now, I can make my butt big. Badunk-a-dunk. Badunk-a-dunk. Oh, damn, girl. You got all that boot. Dang. But this is what happens. You start to see the skin texture. It starts to look different. And that's when you have a trained eye like me. I could see when you fake the funk, because my eye can pick up. Some people can't. So I don't want any of that. I like my butt the way it is. So you can see the difference. I mean, my boobs don't need to be that big. But anyways, who cares? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Clean that up a bit. Now, the other thing I'm going to show you is, let's just save this. Make sure you save it, because things like crashing happens. Strike a pose. I'm being silly. Now another tool I'm going to show you is, we're just going to see this plus file. It's going to create a new file. So this was the strike a pose, and this is healing brush because I'm on the healing brush. I'm going to open my layers, and what I want to do is flatten it. So let's flatten everything. And I can save this as strike a pose 2. So strike a pose 2, because you don't want to save over this. Now, what I'm going to do, the reason why I flattened it is because I wanted to show you another tool that's used to smooth out skin. So you drag the layer onto this, and it creates another copy, and you go to Filter, Blur, Surface Blur. You can do any of these blurs. You can even do Gaussian. Gaussian. Now it looks like frosted glass, but you can turn it down some. I don't like that one for this particular project. I'll do Surface Blur, and let's get to looking like an Instagram model. Whether that model is a girl or guy who wants that flawless skin. And when you meet them in person, they frontin'. Okay, so what I just did was I hit the Option button and this, Add Layer Mask. Click. Okay. So now I'm going to paint in the areas that I want to be blurry. So I make sure I hit the paintbrush. Not this, that's art history brush. Paintbrush, where you at? Oh, here. Duh. Hit the paintbrush. Now you got this big old thing. Now the color are here. I want white because the white is what's going to show through this masking layer. And make sure this is selected. You can even call that skin blur. So for you to see what I'm doing, I'm basically blurring everything. So my skin has no definition between the irregularities, and it just looks like a solid piece of plastic. Because that is what is so cool. Okay? I'm lying, I'm being sarcastic. Now, if you're good at editing, you will make this look as if you were born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Okay. Actually, that was an accident. If you hit the backslash on a Mac and then hit X to change those, this will show you the areas that have been masked out. So we want the skin to come through. Skin, come through. Smooth buttocks, come through. Like now, if you're going to do the skin, you might as well do all of it. You shouldn't have like a flawless face with like textured arms and legs when your face is all blurred out. Just hit the backspace arrow again. Now see, it's all blurry. If you about that life, but I'm not. Let me zoom in. You'll see the skin texture, right? You could turn this opacity down, which is basically how much of it will show through. And then this eyeball will reveal how much blur there is. So because this video is called Photoshop Me to Perfection, I'll do it more. And that's pretty good. Other things that you can do, I live on this here, selective color. You can select certain colors to change, and it will just change the white. So the white here is being controlled by the yellow-blue scale. So do I want it more blue? Do I want it more yellow? It's kind of, this is great when the color is off. The colors here seem to be fairly on. Or if you want to do like an artistic move. So let's just go for whites that kind of look turquoise, aka cyan. And then for the blacks, you can play with cool effects. I'm giving you storm realness. I can make it darker, which is what I generally like to do. I like my blacks black. Neutrals, you can do that stuff. Look at that. That girl is on fire. Okay. So, alternating. Fun times. What do we have for time? Well, this is advanced, but anyways, I'll show you. I just created a new layer. I'll call these highlights 2. And basically what I'm going to do is use this brush, hit the D to the default colors, and hit the X so the white is selected. And I'm going to create this white line right there. White line there. I'm basically going to highlight. There. So I have those highlights. Then I'm going to hit the filter, blur. Now this I can go with Gaussian blur. And I'm going to blur that out a ton. You see? Now I kind of want the shape of that line. See, it's kind of like, oh, but again, if that's too much, you can lower the opacity. So it's all about playing with that. I can create a new file because I don't like to save over in case I make a mistake. So master opacity change, let's save this as striker pose 2. Oh no, striker pose 3. We're going for the third pose. This is another trick I used to do. Create a new layer. Let's just call this pose. Now, I want to take the color out of this particular one. So I'll do the long way for you. Image, adjustment, saturation. Now this affects the layer that it's working on. So there. Got black and white and I got color. This is great if you just want to paint like, certain areas through. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? But that's not why I did this. I did this because I wanted to see what an overlay of that looks like. You see that? So these here can give you some different cool effects. That's not cute. But this is kind of cool. So I can also play with the opacity of how much I want that to come through. So I don't want my Jordan Dunn, I love her, supermodel, yes. I don't want that in there though. Image, crop. There we have her. Oh, my butt is bigger. Oh yeah, we kept it for this. Now this is a very rushed job, but you can take your time with that. Make sure you guys check me out on Instagram at Maya's World. If you would like to meet me, if you live in the Los Angeles area, I will be at General Assembly July 28th. Read the description box for all the information. Did I mention it's free? Remember to do you, be you, and stay true, boo. Be shameless.